If you only have $25 to spend on an EDC fixed blade, this might just be the one. Today we are taking a look at the Lothar Beaver, which is possibly the best EDC fixed blade that you've never heard of. The list price on this is $40. I only paid $25 for it, and that is currently the price on Amazon at the time of recording. I'll have a link down in the description if you'd like to get one for yourself. Starting at the bottom, we have a pinky ring, and it is on the smaller side, and then we move up and we have G10 scales, and they are both textured and milled. And for the blade, we have a 2.58-inch Wharncliffe blade, and it is 14C28N steel, so a pretty darn good budget steel. And the sheath is a Kydex sheath. So, how does such a small knife work with my big old meat mittens? Well, the answer to that may surprise you. I can usually give or take pinky rings, but this one works for me. I do wish the pinky ring was a little bit bigger, but it is definitely still usable. You can get a full 4-finger grip with the pinky in the ring, or you can also grip it outside of the ring if you prefer not to use the pinky ring. It's for longer cutting, it's going to be a little bit more uncomfortable, but you can still get a good 4-finger grip on the outside of the pinky ring. Now the scales, they are flat. There are no palm swells, as you can see, but there is plenty of grip there. I don't know if the milling helps with the grip, but I think it just absolutely looks fantastic, even if it doesn't help with the grip. As I mentioned, the sheath is a pancake style sheath, and it comes with a necklace or chain if you want to use it as a neck knife, and it also came with a pocket clip. Now, as you can see, I went with neither, and I went with an ulti clip. And so, with that being the case, as far as carry and practicality, this really opened up a whole new class of carry for me, and that is fifth pocket fixed blades. I had never tried one because I always want a 4-finger grip, and that is very rare to find in this class of knives. Because of the petite size, the Kydex sheath easily fits in my fifth pocket, and the pinky ring makes it very easy to draw and resheath. It is also incredibly light at just under 2 ounces, which makes it very pocket friendly. It doesn't feel like it's weighing down your pocket. Now, as far as build quality, I was not expecting much for $25, but it has really surprised me. The blade came very sharp. The scales line up with the tang with no gaps or rough spots. The G10 scales are both functional and they look nice, especially with the milling, and none of those things are given at this price range. So, with all of that said, what are the pros and the cons for me? Biggest pro has to be the incredible price. For $25, this is an insane deal. The steel is a solid, affordable steel, and 14C28N is not very picky about heat treats, so you don't have to worry as much about that. The ultra lightweight makes it very easy to carry in the pocket, or if you wanted to carry it on your belt, it's so light that you might forget that it's even there. The 4-finger grip with the pinky ring or outside the pinky ring is also a massive plus for me in the Ergos department. The 2.58-inch blade is going to be legal in many areas, although if you're in an area like Boston or Chicago that has those more stringent blade length limits, you got to be aware of that. And the straight edge on the Wharncliffe blade is great for general utility tasks. As far as cons, Lothar is not as well known of a brand as some of the bigger names, which may raise questions about the material and the consistency. And I'm not just saying that as a general, I don't know a lot about the company. This is actually the second knife that I ordered from Lothar. The first one that I ordered was the Lothar Revealer Mini, and it is a compact button lock knife. And I got it as I wanted to try to make it into a good gentleman's knife. But no matter how much I adjusted it, no matter how much I lubricated it and everything, it just would not become drop shut for me. And it just felt cheap. And so I ended up sending that back to Amazon as a return. But the Beaver has been a completely different story for me. And the last con, as I mentioned, the pinky ring is a bit on the small side. I can get my pinky all the way in there, but when you're trying to do it quickly and get your finger in there, you got to be really precise on that. So that is something to consider. So what are some size comparisons? So first I'm going to bring out the 2 knives with pinky rings that I own, and that is the Kaiser Little Rhino and the Boker Enki. Now the Enki is much more comparable in total size. They're almost identical in that sense. And the Enki actually has a shorter blade. This one is actually going to be legal in your 2.5-inch blade length areas, whereas the Beaver and obviously the little Rhino won't be, because that's an even bigger blade. But those are some good size comparisons as far as knives, if you really like the pinky ring or karambit ring, whatever you want to call it. So next, we have some to compare as far as the ultralight, extremely light area, and that is the Buck Pack Light Cape and the Boker BFF Packlight. And so all three of these knives come in at under 2 ounces. So these are all going to be very light, very easy to carry knives when it comes to not weighing down your pocket. Now, the buck up here is $40, so it is the same as the list price on the Beaver, but with the Beaver running for $25, this is going to be a bit cheaper. You get a larger grip with that one, but you also do not get scales through the whole thing. So this one, if you're doing a long cutting tasks, this one's going to be a little bit less comfortable, at least in my experience. And the Boker down here is pretty similar in size, blade length, and everything, but this one will also run you usually about $170 to $180. I got mine cheaper than that, but that's usually the going rate on these. Now, this is Magna Cut steel, so that is a massive difference between the two. So those are your ultralight comparisons. Now, last, I'm going to go with price comparison, and the one knife that I own that is pretty good quality, that is comparable, is the Schrade Adder. Now, the Schrade Adder runs $20 typically, and that is for AUS 10 steel, as opposed to the 14C 28N, which I think those are really comparable. The properties are going to be a little bit different. You're probably going to get a little bit better edge retention out of the AUS 10 as opposed to the 14C 28N, but the 14C 28N is going to be tougher. Now, in knives of this size and what you'd use them for, you may not see a massive difference between the two, but that's just kind of to give some context. But both of these knives come in at $25 or under, so both of these I would highly recommend as budget fixed blades, although only the Beaver is a 5th pocket fixed blade. The Adder will not fit in your 5th pocket. So some other size comparisons are, as far as 5th pocket folders, the Vosteed Mini Nightshade. Then we also have the Civivi Baby Banter 2 and the Spyderco Lil Native. And I think the best comparison for size is the Vosteed Mini Nightshade. As you can see, those are almost identical. The blades are extremely close in size. So if you happen to have a Vosteed Mini Nightshade, really good size comparison. The Spyderco is also pretty close. The Spyderco may just be a shade smaller, but all are very comparable. And that also shows you why this is very much a possibility for a 5th pocket fixed blade. So with those comparisons and all of that in mind, would I buy this again, and would I recommend it? For $25, that is an absolutely unqualified yes. And that is because it is just an insane deal for that price. Now, at the $40 list price, I would say yes with some qualifications, and that being that you specifically want a 5th pocket fixed blade, or you just like small fixed blades in general. It's not going to replace bigger knives, but if you're looking to add a small fixed blade to your carry options, especially one that won't break the bank, this one is definitely worth trying out. So, what do you think? Is it too small to be useful to you, or could it expand your EDC repertoire the same way it did mine? Let me know down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this review, please consider leaving a like and remember to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Also, if there are any other knives or EDC gear that you'd like me to check out, please suggest them down in the comments. And until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I will see you in the next video.